Okay, I finally broke down and ended up watching the Parasite movie. And oh my god, I love the absolute bullshit that is essential to keep this movie going. To have this bullshit, all the pretentious, gullible, talking out of their ass fans gushing over this movie about its meaning and symbolism and metaphors, and it's about social inequality and about the haves and have-nots, about the rich and the poor, and the social and the class discrepancies between the... Okay, there's so many different ways to cover this. I don't know which way. Okay, let's start from the beginning. Okay, here's the key aspect of this movie, is that it requires two key elements: rich and poor. Okay? Now, we obviously have the Park family, who are rich, and we have the Kim family, who are poor, right? Now, follow me on this, okay? The reason the Kim family are poor is because they have no income. Okay? They don't have a steady job. None of them work. At best, you see them having that little, not even a part-time job, folding pizza boxes. Okay? The son, okay, tries to get a part-time job with that pizza company. Not even a full-time job. They have no source of income, which is why they live in that sub-basement apartment. You see, they don't live in that sub-basement apartment just because. They weren't born in that sub-basement apartment. They live in that sub-basement apartment because they do not have a source of income. They don't have jobs. Hence, they live in squalor. They live in the slums, right? As the movie progresses, you idiots, guess what the Kim family ends up doing? They all get jobs. They all get decent paying jobs. The mother and the father, the father ends up becoming the chauffeur, ends up getting a decent paying job. The mother becomes the housekeeper, decent paying job. The son becomes a tutor and is a really good paying job. The sister becomes an art therapist and she gets a very good paying job. They're not poor anymore. They're at the very least middle class. Because I'm watching the movie and there's a pivotal scene in the movie where it's after the Mr. Kim, as the chauffeur, drives Mr. Park back to the house, and he has all the presents, and I forget the Park's little boy's name, but he ends up smelling Mr. Park, and then ends up smelling his wife and going, they smell the same, right? Then we go back. Then the scene goes to the Kim's house, or back to the apartment, okay? Now, and I'm watching and I'm going, what? Why are they still living in the sub-basement apartment? Where's all the fucking money they've been making? They haven't been working there for a couple of days. They've been working there for at least a few weeks. They've been getting paid. Where's their fucking money, movie? It's not like they have this unpaid debt that they have to cover. It's not like there's these addictions. It's not like anybody's got a gambling addiction or a drug addiction that money's being wasted on. Hell, they're not even buying useless shit with all their money. Because if the Kim family did that, it would establish, oops, they're not poor anymore. There's no, I get, so they're they're at the dinner table, and I forget the father's name, but he goes, should we start using different soaps or whatever? And the sister actually goes, they need to leave because of the sub-basement smell. That's what the kid is smelling. The kid is smelling the poverty on Mr. and Mrs. Kim, right? Okay, well, deception-wise, to keep up their deception, it would actually make sense for them to leave the they need to leave. The movie establishes the reason the Kim family smells of poverty is because they live in a sub-basement apartment. Well, they have money to be able to leave the sub-basement apartment for the ability to keep up the deception. The daughter even establishes we should leave the sub-basement apartment. It actually makes sense for the plot of the story for the Kim family to keep up the deception to leave the sub-basement apartment. But they can't leave the sub-basement apartment because they have to keep establishing the Kims are poor. But they're not poor. In fact, later on, the father even goes, the amount of cash coming from that house, if we put our 4 salaries together, the amount of cash coming from that house into ours is immense. You're right, it is. Where the fuck is it? This movie can't have the Kim family have the money they have, because then they won't be poor anymore. Because unfortunately for this movie, halfway through the film, the Kim family isn't poor anymore. But the movie has to actually forcefully bullshit the plot, bullshit the story, bullshit the audience into having it that the Kim family has to stay poor even though they've all got great paying jobs. The sister alone it has at least what, a upper middle class or a lower upper class job. Like, they're done. Like, they should have left that sub-basement apartment done. No. Let's go move into the Park family house. Here's an idea. Get the fuck out of your own goddamn sub-basement apartment with all the money you have. This theme song should have been playing somewhere. Because I cannot stress this enough. The Kim family is no longer poor. The basic dynamic, the essential dynamics of this movie to work the way it needs to work no longer applies. There goes the whole movie dynamic. There goes the whole bullshit social inequality fake meaning. Halfway through the movie, the Kims are no longer poor. The movie is no longer about poor versus rich. The Kims are at the very least middle class and should have left that. They shouldn't have been there during the flood. No goddamn reason. There's no goddamn reason they should have actually have stayed into the Park family house when they left. Why? Because they should have been on their... This movie is purposely deceivingly having the Kim family portrayed as poor, even though the movie establishes that they've conned the Park family out of all this money so that they can no longer be poor, but are still poor. because the movie can't have them spending their money. You see, the movie is purposefully, deceivingly portraying the Kim family as poor because it's essential to the bullshit narrative of the movie to keep up. Like, once their sub-basement apartment got flooded, okay, they should have been going, who cares? Like, even if they wasted their money and went to a hotel, they were sleeping on, the gymnasium floor. Why? Why would, even if they're wasteful or whatever, they should have gone, who cares that we lost our apartment? Let's waste our money on fancy restaurants or a fancy hotel. No, they're sleeping on, the movie has to purposely deceive you in going, they have to sleep on the floor of the gymnasium because they got nowhere to go. Yes, they do, because they've got money. This movie the scene of them sleeping on the floor is such fake, stupid bullshit because there's no reason for them to be on there, okay? Even if the movie had shown that they had lost their money in the flood, okay? No, because you know why? They can't establish the Kims have money because you can't be poor if you have money. Anyway, I might as well stop now because there's no point in continuing because at this point I'm just belaboring the point. So, the ending. I do want to do a quick discussion about the pretentious bullshit ending of this movie. Because first of all, boys and girls, there is no ending. Okay? There is no ending. Because an ending requires a resolution of some sort. Okay? Not even just closure, some kind of resolution. If it had at least an epilogue or an addendum to make you go, well, wait a minute, what's happening next? Like Inception. The Inception movie is a good example because the movie Inception actually has an ending, actually has a resolution. But then it has that little scene with the spinning top. And it's like, well, wait a minute, now what's going on? Whoa. Is it over? Are they still in there? But if you take out the spinning top, you still have a resolution. The spinning top is to simply make you go, well, wait a minute. With Parasite, there isn't even that. Because the son isn't even writing the letter to his father. You want to know how I know? Because there would be no way for him to even get the letter to his father. Because if he could find a way to get the letter to his father, why wouldn't he try to figure out a way to help his father escape? But because he knows he can't do that, he's literally daydreaming about writing a letter and sending it to his father on this bullshit attempt on this most unrealistic way of trying to, rescue his father. Here's another way I can establish that this is a pretentious bullshit non-ending. It's like Bong Joon-ho, it's not a standard type of ending that he uses. Okay? Snowpiercer had a resolution. It was based on a book, so it actually had a resolution. Right? But this is not like if Bong Joon-ho had established a reputation where his endings were this obscure, this unanswered, then I would have gone, okay, fine. But he hasn't. Okay? He doesn't have that reputation. He simply pulled this bullshit ending out of his ass so that you as an audience could contemplate, oh, this is what it means. It's basically the director going, I have no idea how to do this. I have no idea how to end this. So I'll throw this bullshit ending so that way you as an audience can try and figure out what it means. You can come to your own conclusion because the director couldn't on his own. Oh, and here's further proof, okay? Do you think that if Ryan Johnson or J.J. Abrams pulled this bullshit of an ending, that it wouldn't be called out? Of course it would. You would have absolutely called out right. Martin Scorsese, Francis Ford Coppola, Quentin Tarantino. Like, if Quentin Tarantino, in the ending of one of his movies, tried to pull this obscure bullshit ending, you would have gone, what the hell is he doing? Okay, maybe David Lynch could get away with it, because you know why? He's actually established a reputation of doing that. It would work. But this, the director for Parasite, not a chance. Any other director, again, other than maybe David Lynch and a few others, none of you would have accepted this ending. But for some reason, the director for Parasite gets away with it. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. And I'm calling you all out on it. Anyway, that's my review of, well, it's not really a review, it's me just calling out the bullshit of this movie, and you fans of this movie, you pretentious bullshit talking out of your ass fans of this movie. Anyway, I'm done. I'm out of here. See ya.